inside color is that little tiny piece of color tone, okay? So you have to decide which one you want to be the outside color and which one you want to be the inside. So sometimes I do this. I make a little border of one color and I do a larger border of the other color, and I say, do I like that, or do I want it to look like this? And this is a fancy piece of map wood. So sometimes I say, I want more of this to show. You know, now there's other, you know, she picked browns. There's lots of colors, guys. You can also, this is going to be our scrap thing, and sometimes for the inside color, you know, if she wanted to, she could pick, you know, a piece that small. All right? So what do you think you want on the inside of these? You want this to be on the outside? Yeah. Since it's the fancy piece? Okay, so we're going to cut the outside first. The outside has to be 8 by 10. And this is a ruler right here. And I did have tape on here and it kind of came off, but this one's 8. So let's cut this 8. You put it down on this ledge here and then it'll cut nice and straight. This is a bad end, so I'm going to put this through so I can cut this off. So then I go to 10. Here's the 10 right here. Okay, so the outside piece is 8 by 10. I could trim off that edge just a little bit. It's not very clean. Okay, so that one's 8 by 10. The inside color just needs to be smaller. In fact, I could almost, it has to be smaller than this, larger than the painting. I could almost cut it off right in the middle, and then that way someone else will be able to use it. Put that piece in there. Really small pieces like this, you need to clean up and put in the recycle bin. These kind of pieces can go back in here because they can be used. These two will go in the recycle bin. All right? So then it ends up looking something like that. You're all ready for the matte color. So, what size is, what do you want for the outside? You want the fancy suede? You want it like this? Or do you want it like this? This on the outside. This is the fancy suede. So we cut this, what was the size?
8 by 10.
And it's also up there on that poster, if you forget. So we find the 10. We'll put a line here or something. We had something there before. This is a recycle piece. And then this side has to go to, what's the other size? 8. The reason we do that, it's a standard frame size. You can go to the Salvation Army or Target, and you can buy an 8 by 10 frame, and this will fit right in there. Okay, so now this one just needs to be smaller. Because this is such a big piece, I might look around for a smaller brown. And look at, that one is, you know, this one will just work. You like that one? So she's already right there. Okay? So now let's go over to the cutters, and then I'll let you guys do this a little bit later. The cutters are right here on this cart, and you can take it to your table, you can use this table, you can take them over to that table where we cut paper. Kind of squeeze on in so they can get in here. Doesn't hide. So you don't want to do them on the counters because the counters are a little too high. Can we all see? Without being too uncomfortable? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to move this bar to 1.5 inches. And so that's on that poster also. It says number 2, set the bar to 1.5 inches. So to do that, you unscrew these screws, but don't unscrew them all the way. Actually, you turn them 1/4 inch. Okay, so you just turn them 1/4 inch. If you press on them, they're supposed to click like that, but they don't always do that because they're old. But then they move easy. Okay, if it doesn't move easy, that means that you need to kind of push on it to get it to release. Okay, there's a ruler right here, and the ruler says 1, 2, 3. We want to move this bar and stop it at 1.5 inches. Okay, 1.5 inches. We're going to put this slip sheet in here. We're going to take the outside color, and we're going to cut that first. And we're going to put that in here. It goes up against that bar, and we're going to take a pencil or a marker, and we're going to, every time, push this up against the bar, draw our lines. Okay, 4 times. Then we're going to take a cutting head, which are on here, And there's razor blades in here. I always push them down to make sure there isn't a big chip on that razor blade. If there is, and you want to get a new blade in there, just ask me for a new blade. Sometimes you can flip this blade over one time, but by looking at this I can see a chip on that blade, so we'd have to get a new blade for this one. But this one looks good, looks pretty sharp. So it has these little hooks that hook onto this rail that go back and forth. It has this line in the, right here that tells you where the blade is cutting. We're going to put that behind the line that we drew, and then we're going to put our hand right here. We're going to put a little weight on it that keeps it from slipping. It's actually better if you're right behind this. And then you're going to push this down, and then you're going to push forward. You're going to go a little past the line, you're going to stop, you're going to pop up the blade. You're going to check to make sure it cut really sharp. Especially on this fancy mat board, you want to make sure you get a nice clean cut. If it didn't, you need a new blade. You do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3. I think I cut that one twice. If that's a sharp blade when this falls out like this. This can go in the recycle bin. Now we're going to take our second color, which is this brown, and everyone forgets this step. We're going to tape it to the back of the first one and cut it while it's still taped on there, and then we'll get a perfect lined up mat, okay? I call this a $50 mat because if you went to Michael's they'd charge you $50 to do this because it's labor intensive. Okay, so this is, we cut this at 1.5 inches. If I turn that a quarter of a turn, press on it, you see how I move it back a little bit? What shows right here, that's how much it's going to show. So you only need to move it back a little bit over a quarter of an inch. If you want a little more brown, you could make it a little bigger. If you want it a little bit less, you could make it come in a little bit. So maybe about like that, because she does have a big painting. Sometimes you've got something to cover up, you might make it bigger. Alright, so then you flip this over, you draw your lines 4 times. You can put your painting on there just to check it. You know, see, do those yellow lines go over the painting? Yeah, because you want it to cover. Make sure you have the slip sheet. One time the principal came in and I said that word, it came out, you know, slip instead of sheet. And he was funny, he just laughed and walked out. I thought it was funny. It's hard, it's a tongue twister. Slip sheet. These slip sheets are right back there. And you need one of those underneath. That helps you get a clean cut. It also helps the razor blade from not chipping. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, good. I like when this happens because then it's stuck. Okay, the corner is stuck. These are the old blades, and if you are changing a blade and you want to throw a blade away, we put it in there instead of putting it in the garbage so that the custodians don't stick their hands down and find razor blades. So you just take an old blade, you find the way it was cutting, and you just finish the cut. And then that way, if you just push it out, it'll rip. Okay, put that back in there. Right up in here where the sandpaper is, there are emery boards. That blade is getting dull. And because it's starting to show like some fuzzes. Well, not too bad, maybe right here. You know, so you can take an emery board and clean your edge. Alright? Then you're going to tape this on the back like that. Then you sign your name right here. You can put your initials. Quite often, as a student, you put the year after there, so you might put MF14. Okay? Also write your name clearly on the back because I'll take one from each one of you. And you do want to use quite a bit of tape when you tape them down so they're nice and clear. So. So write your name real clearly also because then that way you can identify. Doesn't that look nice?
Yes.
They look a lot better when they're matted. Okay? I'll walk through it with you one more time, and then you guys can watch if you want to see it one more time.